The departure bar was flickering above the crowded hall. My ticket bent between my fingers as they made the final call. We had planned the trip for months. I had packed before the dawn, but standing near the platform, all my certainty was gone. You read it in my posture before I found the words, while travelers crossed around us and the closing signal burned. The doors began to pull together, the engine gathered sound. You stepped away from the platform and placed both bags back down. We missed the 7:40 and the world kept spinning on. You bought another ticket when the first train came and gone. We missed the 7:40. You sat with me beneath the map. You chose 1 hour beside me over keeping every plan intact. 1 train gone, 1 hour gained. Your shoulder underneath my head until I felt like trying again. We found a booth beside the bakery, across from platform 3. You broke a roll in half and slid the larger piece to me. I told you leaving frightened me more than I had understood. The town ahead looked unfamiliar, though the reason still felt good. You traced the route across the table with sugar on your thumb, then circled our destination like we had time enough. The station filled and emptied. 2 more announcements crossed the air. By the time the next train arrived, I was ready to go there. We missed the 7:40 and the world kept spinning on. You bought another ticket when the first train came and gone. We missed the 7:40. You sat with me beneath the map. You chose 1 hour beside me over keeping every plan intact. The second train was nearly empty. We found a table near the back. The city slipped beyond the window in silver lines across the glass. I expected some reminder of the time that we had lost. You only opened up the guidebook and asked which town we should stop. We marked a place beside the water, with a lighthouse on the shore, and made a brand new reservation we had never planned before. I once believed devotion meant arriving right on time, never changing the direction, never stepping out of line. You showed me plans are only paper, and the schedule isn't fate. Sometimes care becomes a doorway when someone lets the first one wait. 2 tickets in your jacket, 1 receipt from platform 3. A little flower on the table and your patience next to me. The journey didn't lose its meaning because it started trip I trusted when you gave me room to choose. The day we missed the 740, but we reached the coast by night. The lighthouse crossed the water and the harbor came alive. We missed the 740, now that hour is what I keep. You let the train depart without us and never once departed me. One train gone, 1 hour gained, a different road, the same last name. You gave the day another shape and helped me board it unafraid. The tickets faded in a drawer, the station changed its signs. But every journey after that reminds me love can change its time. The numbers burn past midnight from the table by the bed. Tomorrow's presentation kept repeating in my head. I counted every ceiling line and rehearsed each opening phrase. You watched me lose another hour to a room that would not change. You reached across the nightstand without offering advice, turned the glowing clock toward the wall and covered up the time. You turned the clock around so the minutes couldn't judge me. Pulled the curtains halfway open and stayed awake beside me. You turned the clock around, then dealt the cards across the sheets. You gave the longest night I knew a different way to leave. Red queen, black nine, your hand resting close to mine. The hours kept moving somewhere, but they stopped deciding who I was. We played until the deck ran out, inventing rules along the way. You lost 3 rounds deliberately, then swore you meant to play that way. I laughed before I noticed the pressure leaving through my hands. You never mentioned morning or asked if I had made a plan. The speech was still unfinished, the fear had not disappeared, but it no longer filled the room with you sitting there. You turned the clock around so the minutes couldn't judge me. Pulled the curtains halfway open and stayed awake beside me. You turned the clock around, then dealt the cards across the sheets. You gave the longest night different way to leave. At 5 we found a missing slide inside an older folder. You read the final paragraph while I leaned against your shoulder. You crossed out one complicated line and wrote the truth beneath. Not what I thought they wanted, but what the work had meant to me. I had known encouragement that sounded like command. People saying you can do this while they pushed me where I stood. You never tried to manufacture some fearless version overnight. You helped me meet the one I was and let that person speak. I buttoned up my jacket and walked out through the gate. Oh, you turned the clock around when every second felt against me. You gave the night another purpose and returned my voice gently. You turned the clock around by morning, I could finally see. You didn't make the fear disappear, you stopped it speaking over me. Red queen, black nine, a sunrise breaking through the blinds. The hours kept moving forward, and this time, so did I. The presentation ended with my hand steady at my side. That evening when I came back home, the clock was facing us this time. The building emptied early, blue reflections crossed the tiles. I stood beside the shallow end, pretending I was fine. You knew I fear the water, though I never told you why. You placed our towels near the steps and waited at my side. You didn't pull me forward or promise I would float. You stepped into the water first and showed me where to go. At the pool after closing, I placed my hand in yours, 1 foot beneath the surface, then another from the floor. At the pool after closing, you followed every pace. You never asked for courage, you gave mine time to wake. Blue tiles, ceiling lights, your reflection next to mine. Every inch became a victory. I was finally allowed to claim. The water reached my shoulders and my breathing lost its shape. I tightened both my fingers, certain I had made a mistake. You pointed toward the painted line that stretched along the wall and told me we could leave right then, and nothing would be lost. That choice became the reason I decided not to go. I bent my knees beneath me and released the edge below. At the pool after closing, I placed my hand in yours, 1 foot beneath the surface, then another from the floor. At the pool after closing, you followed every pace. You never asked for courage, you gave mine time to wait. I crossed 5 meters with your shadow near the lane. By the end of early summer, I could reach the other side. You never called yourself my teacher, never counted what I lacked. You only met me every Thursday with 2 towels in your bag. I had known a kind of caring that confused control with love that rushed to finish every step before I understood enough. You showed me trust could stand nearby without deciding what I should. You let the water hold my weight until I knew my body could. One hand reflected fear. I turned and saw you watching from the edge beside my coat. You didn't jump into the water, you already knew I'd float. At the pool after closing, I crossed the longest lane, not because the fear had vanished, but because it lost its claim. At the pool after closing, I reached the wall alone and swam the whole way back to you, and knew how far I'd grown. Blue tide, ceiling light, my reflection, finally mine. You never carried me across, you stayed until I learned the tide. The building opens earlier now, and children fill the lanes, but every Thursday after work we still return again. Your city was already sleeping, mine was waking into rain. I had coffee on the counter and tomorrow on my brain. My suitcase blocked the hallway, my new badge face down nearby. I had practiced looking ready, but you heard it in my voice. The screen lit up at 2:11, your hair tied back, your room half dark. You said I set an alarm for this, then smiled and let me talk. You called from the other time zone, just to walk me through the day. Read the train stops from my message, till I knew which line to take. You called from the other time zone, while your whole street dreamed below. And every mile between our windows felt smaller than before. 2:11, morning rain, your face glowing in the frame. The distance kept its numbers, but it couldn't take your place. I carried you through headphones, past the station and the square. You laughed when I missed the crossing, then helped me find the stairs. Before the office elevator, my confidence gave out. You asked what color shoes I wore, and talked until the doors came down. You didn't build a speech for me or tell me what to prove. You made the unfamiliar city feel possible to move through. You called from the other time zone, just to walk me through the day. Read the train stops from my message, till I knew which line to take. You called from the other time zone, while your whole street dreamed below. And every mile between our windows felt smaller than before. Sent a photograph of my name outside the room. You answered with a sleepy face and one raised coffee spoon. By evening you were heading out while I was closing mine. We met between two separate days for 7 in borrowed minutes. People speak of distance like affection fades in flight, but you learned every station from a city not in sight. You knew which corner flooded, which bakery opened late. You became part of my new life before you crossed the gate. One screen above the counter, two clocks upon the wall. Your sunrise met my evening like they had planned it all. I once believed together had to mean the same address. Then you made 1,200 miles feel like geography at best. You called from the other time zone through the first weeks of that year. Made a foreign set of streets feel less distant. Every day you called from the other time zone till the city knew my name. And when you finally reached my doorway, I already felt you there too. 11 morning rain, one long journey, two lives changed. The distance kept its numbers, but it never kept us strange. Your suitcase filled the hallway beside the badge I used to hide. Two clocks remained above the wall, but now they showed the same night. I came over with one paperback and left it by your bed. A story I had nearly finished, with a blue mark near the end. The next Friday when I found it, it was standing straight and tall between your records and a picture from a summer in Montreal. Then you pointed toward the bookcase where an empty space appeared. You said, bring the ones you love most, they can live beside mine here. On the shelf above your records, you made a place for what was mine. Every worn out page and cover found a home inside your life. On the shelf above your records, I saw more than wood and space. You were building something lasting in an ordinary way. One shelf, two lives, different stories side by side. You didn't make a grand announcement, you just welcomed mine. I brought novels from my childhood, poems folded at the spine, cookbooks filled with little comments from another place and time. You read the notes inside the margins, asked who wrote the faded lines. I said they came from my grandmother. You handled every page with care. By the end of that November, our collections had combined. Your old records leaned beside every world that once was mine. On the shelf above your records, you made a place for what was mine. Every worn out page and cover found a home inside your life. On the shelf above your different stories sat together on the floor. Your music filled the apartment while the rain reached for the door. We didn't have to share each chapter or agree on every line. Still, I love the way our separate worlds could meet without dividing. I had known affection that demanded I become a reflection of another till my own shape came undone. But you never moved my volumes or replaced the words I chose. You gave everything I carried somewhere honest it could go. A record turning near us, my bookmark in your hand, your glasses on the table, 2 mugs upon a stand. I looked across the bookcase at the lives we hadn't planned, and understood belonging didn't mean becoming one. On the shelf above your records, there were years between the lines. Every story kept its own voice, still they share the same design. On the shelf above your records, what began with one small space became a life where both of us could grow without being changed. One shelf, 2 lives, different stories side by side. You never asked me to disappear to fit into your life. Now the bookcase reaches ceiling high and bends beneath the years, but that first blue-covered paperback still stands exactly where you placed it. The doctor said my voice would rest for several weeks or more. I carried home a notebook and a list from the pharmacy store. At first I wrote each sentence till my fingers started sore. You watched me fill the pages, then place them on the floor. You opened up a lesson on the screen beside the bed and practiced every motion for the words I couldn't say. Your fingers moved uncertain, you mixed up tired and fine, but every small mistake became a language that was ours to find. You learned my hands when my voice could not arrive, spell my name across the table till the letters came alive. You learned my hands, turned each gesture into sound, and I never felt invisible whenever you were around. 2 palms, 10 fingers, 1,000 things to say. We built another language and found each other anyway. You signed coffee in the kitchen, then handed me some tea. I raised one eyebrow at you and you laughed apologetically. We made up signs for movies, for the neighbors and the cat. A circle meant I missed you, 2 taps meant come right back. The world outside kept asking why I couldn't simply speak, but you looked at every movement like it carried what you needed. By Friday you could tell when I was joking from my eyes. You wondered understood the sentence before my hands could finish twice. You learned my hands when my voice could not arrive. Spell my name across the table till the letters came alive. You learned my hands turned each gesture into sound, and I never felt invisible whenever you were around. The morning of my checkup, I tried one fragile note. It cracked before it reached you like a match without a glow. You didn't fill the moment with celebration or surprise. You signed, take all the time, then waited with a smile. The week became another till my speaking voice returned, but neither of us stopped using everything our fingers learned. I once believed connection lived entirely in words. Then you found 100 ways to make sure I was heard, and raised brows and crooked letters and a joke across the room. You proved that understanding can arrive in many forms. Your thumb against your heartbeat, my fingers pointing home. One motion meant I trust you, one and you're not alone. The first full phrase I whispered wasn't practiced or prepared. I said I love the way you found me when my voice was nowhere there. You learned my hands and gave each movement somewhere safe. Made a language from attention that the years could never take. You learned my hands, now we sign across the crowd, and every time your fingers answer, love becomes louder than sound. 2 palms, 10 fingers, 1,000 things remain. We found another language and still speak it every day. My voice is strong as ever, but some evenings from afar, you draw a circle with your fingers, and I answer from my heart. The heart was filled with families and names across the screen. I waited near the side door in a borrowed cap and sleeves. 10 years behind the others, 3 jobs between each class. I wondered if arriving late could still be called a path. Then I looked beyond the curtains, past the flowers and the signs. You were standing in the second row with both hands raised up high. You stood in the second row like the whole room knew my name. You carried every evening. I was certain I would fail. You stood in the second row when they called me to the stage, and all the years I questioned finally fell into their place. You knew the library closing times and every midnight train. You brought dinner to the campus when I studied through the rain. You tested me on chapters you had never read before, and listened to my practice answers while folding clothes at 4. You never called it easy. You saw exactly what it cost, and when I wanted to surrender, you reminded me what I had crossed. You stood in the second row like the whole room knew my name. You carried every evening. I was certain I would fail. You stood in the second row when they called me to the stage, and all the years I questioned finally fell into their place. The speaker read the final list. The crowd began to rise. I held the paper in my hands and searched until I found your eyes. You pointed at the printed seal, then pointed back at me, as if to say the proof was never only in the degree. People celebrate the finish, but you love me through the middle, through the failed exams and rent delays, and every change in schedule. You never took the work from me or claimed the road I crossed. You simply stayed beside the dream whenever I felt lost. One photograph beneath the banner, one tassel in your hand, my name pressed into heavy paper, and your footprints through the plan. I thought the day would prove that I had finally become enough, but seeing you there taught me I had always been worth your love. You stood in the second row while the whole room called my name, but I heard your voice above them like I had to every day. You stood in the second row, and the future opened wide. I walked across that stage alone, but you were in every stride. The chairs were stacked by evening, the banners taken down. We carried home the photograph and drove the long way through the town. My diploma hangs above the desk, but when I look at it, I know the part I treasure most that day was finding you in the second row. We rented half a second floor above the neon washing signs. The pipes complained each evening, and the hallway lost its lights. Our table came from someone's curve. Our curtains never matched. Still every corner slowly learned the shape of what we had. You placed 2 chairs outside where the balcony leaned west. We watched the neighborhood come home and let the day undress. On the balcony above the laundromat, we made a kingdom out of almost nothing. Shared one blanket, split one glass, and talked until the traffic started humming. On the balcony above the laundromat, I never had to earn my place. You loved the life we had in progress, not some polished future version of my fate. Some nights I brought my worries home and spread them through the room. Bills beside the cereal box, bad news arriving much too soon. You never dressed the trouble up or promised it would pass. You moved the laundry from my chair and poured another glass. Below us all the dryers turned in rows of amber circles. Above them we kept learning how to carry what was difficult. On the balcony above the laundromat, we made a kingdom out of almost nothing. Shared one blanket, split one glass, and talked until the traffic started humming. On the balcony above the laundromat, I never had to earn my place. You loved the life we had in progress, not some polished future version of my face. By spring the landlord raised the rent, the ceiling started leaking. We filled 3 bowls beneath the drops and laughed until we couldn't breathe. We knew that place was temporary, the walls were thin and warm, but every evening in those chairs I felt more certain where I belonged. I once mistook devotion for chandeliers and perfect plans. Then you taught me it could happen with loose change resting in our hands. It lived in taking turns downstairs when all the machines were filled, and saving me the final peach and knowing when to sit still. Blue shirts on a railing, coins beside the door, your shoes beneath my jacket, 2 shadows on the floor. The city never noticed what was happening above, but inside that narrow balcony we built our definition of love. On the balcony above the laundromat, we had no view worth putting on a postcard. Still I saw my whole life clearly every time you reached across the dark. On the balcony above the laundromat, you never asked me to become anything beyond the person who kept choosing you when evening came. We live across the river now, with windows facing south, but sometimes when the dryers turn I think about that little house. Not because I miss the broken sink or every sleepless night. I miss the way we had so little and somehow made it feel like life. We spent the afternoon downtown with sunlight on the square. You carried that old camera like it belonged everywhere. I posed beside the fountain, fixed the collar on my shirt, tried to give you something flawless, something carefully rehearsed. Then a bicycle passed behind us. You called my name too late. I turned around, still laughing, as the shutter caught my face. I asked you not to print it. Said my smile looked uncontrolled. You slipped the film inside your pocket and refused to let it go. You kept the photo with my eyes closed, the one I tried to hide. My hair was caught across my face, my head was thrown aside. You kept the photo with my eyes closed and placed it by your bed. You said that's how you look when you forget to judge yourself. The other pictures came out perfect, every angle, every line, but you barely looked at those before you reached again for mine. I studied every imperfection, like a list of things to change. You saw somebody living where I only saw mistakes. A month later at your birthday, your friends gathered in the hall. That crooked little photograph was hanging on the wall. I started to remove it. You caught my wrist halfway and told me everyone who loved me already knew that face. You kept the photo with my eyes closed, the one I tried to hide. My hair was caught across my face, my head was thrown aside. You kept the photo with my eyes closed and placed it by your bed. You said that's how you look when you forget to judge yourself. Years have filled the album now with holidays and moves. Some were taken for weddings, some old and faded shoes. There are pictures where we're tired, pictures blurred beyond repair, but you never choose the polished ones when someone asks what we share. You point to all the moments where the pose had fallen through and say the person caught between them is the one you always knew. I spent so long believing love arrived when I looked right, when every word was measured and every weakness stayed outside. You never loved the presentation or the image I arranged. You loved the laugh that interrupted everything I tried to stage. One flash beside the fountain, 1 second without control. Face I once rejected now feels closer to my own. I finally made another copy and placed it in a frame, not because I learned to love the picture, but because I love to stay. You kept the photo with my eyes closed until I learned to see the parts I tried to edit out were never wrong to you or me. You kept the photo with my eyes closed. Now it hangs beside our door, a reminder I was lovable before I looked composed. The colors will grow lighter, the paper edges bend, but I'll remember how you chose me in a moment I didn't pretend. My first day at the new place, I changed my shirt 3 times. Read the route across the city till I knew each turn by sight. The badge looked far too official, pinned above my shaking hand. I said they'd see right through me before I reached the entrance. You walked me to the corner where the office window shone, then slipped my name tag in your pocket till I was ready to put it on. You didn't give me answers for the questions in my head. You spoke about the bakery and the dog across the street instead. You carried my name for a minute when it felt too large for me. Kept it folded near your heartbeat till I could wear it honestly. You carried my name for a minute and placed it in my hand, like I didn't have to prove myself before I learned to stand. At lunch I sent one message saying everything felt wrong. The rooms were full of strangers and the hours moved too long. You answered with a picture of the badge beside your keys and wrote, "It still belongs to you whenever you're ready." I stayed until the evening, asked one question in the room, and found the courage sounded more familiar than I knew. When I reached the corner later, you were waiting by the sign. I placed the badge above my heart before you even asked me why. You carried my name for a minute when it felt too large for me. Kept it folded near your heartbeat till I could wear it honestly. Carried my name for a minute and placed it in my hand, like I didn't have to prove myself before I learned to stand. The weeks became less foreign. I stopped rehearsing every word, learned the names behind the doorways, and believed that I was heard. One Friday they announced I'd lead the project through the fall. I called you from the stairwell with the badge against the wall. You laughed and said you knew it long before I crossed that street. Not because success was promised, but because you trusted me. I had spent so many years thinking confidence arrived before the room, before the risk, before you stepped inside. You showed me it could follow after fear had led the way. Sometimes courage is just borrowing your own name for one more day. The pen is scratched and faded, the letter's nearly gone. It rests inside a wooden box with everything we've carried on. I keep it for the morning when I doubt what I can do, to remember there was someone who held my name until I grew. Carry my name for a minute when I couldn't make it fit. You never wore it in my place. You only kept it safe a bit. You carried my name for a minute and returned it without claim. Now I walk into every doorway knowing I belong to my name. Tomorrow brings another room, another unfamiliar view, but I pin the badge above my heart and carry what I learned from you. Dinner stretched past 9 o'clock with questions circling the table. Everybody had an answer for the life they thought I should make. Someone asked about the future. Someone mentioned wasted years. I kept turning around my glass while every sentence disappeared. You noticed how my shoulders changed before I looked your way, then leaned across the flowers and gave the room another name. You changed the subject before I had to disappear. Started telling that old story everybody wanted to hear. You changed the subject and brought the evening back to me. You never spoke on my behalf. You only gave me room to breathe. You talked about the roadside motel with the sign that lost its light, how we laughed beneath the awning when the storm erased the sky. The whole table started smiling. Someone asked which road we took, and the pressure left my body as the conversation moved. Your hand stayed near my water glass, not touching, only there, like you knew that being rescued wasn't what I needed then. You changed the subject before I had to disappear. Started telling that old story everybody wanted to hear. You changed the subject and brought the evening back to me. You never spoke on my behalf. You only gave me room to breathe. Later by the coat rack, I asked how you had known. You said my smile became too careful and my answers lost their tone. You didn't call them cruel or turn the night into a fight. You helped me leave with dignity and let the doorway close behind. I have known affection that demanded every truth, pressed against a tender place until there was nothing left to lose. You showed me love could notice without putting pain on view, could stand beside a boundary and let the choice belong to you. Street lamps on the pavement, your jacket in my hand, the restaurant behind us, and the city opening again. I told you what I couldn't say. With everybody gathered near, you listened without interrupting till my own voice sounded clear. You changed the subject, but you never changed my name. Never made me feel embarrassed for the things I couldn't explain. You changed the subject and let me choose what came afterward. You protected something private without speaking over my words. Now whenever rooms grow smaller and the questions cross the line, I find your eyes across the table and know the choice is still mine. Sunday found us half awake with sunlight on the floor. Your phone kept lighting up, beside the jacket by the door. Mine was full of messages and plans I couldn't face. You turned both screens upside down and pulled me from the race. We left the clocks behind us, took the road without a name. For once the world kept asking and we answered none of it. The day we missed every call, we heard each other clearly. Drove beyond the crowded streets with your hand resting near me. The day we missed every call, nothing outside could decide who we had to be together or how fast our hearts should move. We stopped beside a roadside stand with peaches in a crate, shared a paper cup of lemonade, and watched the afternoon change. You told me things from years ago I had never heard before. I laughed until my face hurt on the steps outside the store. There were no perfect photographs, no schedule left to keep, just two people finding out how much was underneath. The day we missed every call, we heard each other clearly. Drove beyond the crowded streets with your hand resting near me. The day we missed every call, nothing outside could decide who we had to be together or how fast our hearts should move. By evening, clouds covered the hills and rain began to fall. We parked beneath an overpass and wrote our names upon the fog. You drew a crooked heart, then placed mine next to yours. The whole wide world was waiting, but it could wait a little more. I used to think attention was something people gave between appointments and reminders before they turned away. Then you gave me one whole day without dividing where you were, and every mile we wandered made the meaning feel more sure. Two phones inside the glove box, one jacket across our knees, rain moving down the windshield and nowhere else to be. I looked at you and understood what presence really meant. Not a promise for the future, but a choice made in the present. The day we missed every call, I stopped feeling temporary. You gave the hours all to us and never made it seem extraordinary. The day we missed every call, I found a love that didn't compete with every voice outside the car for the person next to me. We reached the city after dark with 20 messages each, but before we turned the screens back on, you leaned across and kissed me. Now whenever life grows crowded and the distance starts to form, we place both phones inside the drawer and remember that Sunday once more. Barroom doors were closing past midnight in the rain. I smiled through every photograph while my feet burned with the strain. You You waited near the entrance with the car beneath the sign. I said the night was wonderful. You saw the way I walked behind. Before I reached the passenger side, you opened up the trunk and pulled out my old sneakers with the laces coming undone. You brought the sneakers in your trunk because you knew I never asked. You saw beyond the perfect dress and all the ways I tried to last. You brought the sneakers in your trunk and knelt beneath the parking light. Love looked less like roses then and more like getting home alright. I changed beside the open door. My heels fell to the floor. You placed them in their little box and never made a joke. We drove away from chandeliers, past buildings washed in gold. I curled my feet beneath the seat and finally let myself unfold. The evening had been beautiful, but beauty has a cost. You knew exactly what I needed before the glitter wore off. You brought the sneakers in your trunk because you knew I'd never ask. You saw beyond the perfect dress and all the ways I tried to last. You brought the sneakers in your trunk and up beneath the parking lot. Love looked less like roses then and more like getting home alright. We stopped beside an all-night stand for fries and lemonade. My formal clothes looked out of place, but neither of us cared. You loosened up your collar, I pinned my hair back high, and every polished version of us disappeared beneath the signs. We ate inside the parked car with the windows gathering steam, and somehow that small parking lot felt better than the evening. I used to think romance arrived in reservations made in advance, in rooms designed for photographs and carefully rehearsed plans. Then you reached inside the trunk and handed comfort back to me. You loved the person underneath everything the room could see. Silver shoes inside their box, old sneakers on my feet, your jacket folded near my knees, the city half asleep. I looked across the dashboard and understood what care could be, not asking me to keep pretending when the night was done with me. You brought the sneakers in your trunk and gave the evening somewhere real, a place beyond the crowded room where I could say exactly how I felt. You brought the sneakers in your trunk. Now every time we dress up right, I know the love that waits for me beyond the photographs and lights. The dress still hangs inside the closet, the heels still shine like new, but what I keep from that whole night is riding home beside you. fill the dining room with stories from before. A dozen voices crossed at once from every open door. You smiled through all the names you were still learning how to say, then unfolded something written on a card you tried to hide away. I thought you'd raise your glass and keep the message short, but you stood beside my father and faced the crowded room. You made the first toast in my language, every syllable unsure. Your accent bent the sentences, but every word was yours. You made the first toast in my language and brought two worlds together. You stumbled through the ending, but I remember it forever. My aunt began to laugh when you confused the words for rain. You stopped and checked the little card, then started once again. My mother covered both her eyes before the final line. You told her that the life she raised had now become part of your life. The room that once felt divided changed before the glasses rang. You reached across the distance with the words you barely had. You made the first toast in my language, every syllable unsure. Your accent bent the sentences, but every word was yours. You made the first toast in my language and brought two worlds together. You stumbled through the ending, but I'll remember it forever. Later in the kitchen, I found pages in your code, the same 4 lines rewritten with small marks above each word. You had practiced on the train and whispered phrases in the hall. There were coffee stains beside them and corrections through them all. I asked how long you'd worked on it. You shrugged and looked away, then spoke the final sentence without reading from the page. Love is more than understanding every story from the start. Sometimes it is crossing over with the dictionary in your hand. You didn't wait for fluency to tell them what I meant. You entered through an unfamiliar door and gave your best attempt. One card beside the fruit bowl, one glass beside the plate. My father repeating your last line so you could say it straight. Everyone began to help you till the whole room joined along. And what began with broken phrases ended sounding like a song. You made the first toast in my language. Now the words live in my mind, not because you spoke them perfectly, but because you chose to try. You made the first toast in my language and gave my history a place. You didn't ask me to translate the love written on your face. The card is framed above our table with every crossed out line, and sometimes after dinner you still practice one more time. I always pack before the weekend, even when I plan to remain. My toothbrush lived inside my suitcase, my coat stayed ready by the frame. I learned to leave before the question of belonging could appear. So every Sunday after breakfast I disappeared before the streets were clear. One evening while I washed the dishes, you opened up the kitchen drawer, placed a silver key beside me, and said, "You know what this is for?" The extra key on the red ribbon was lying underneath your hand. You gave me more than an entrance, you gave my suitcase somewhere to unpack. The extra key on the red ribbon said I could come and go by choice. You never asked me for an answer, you simply made my presence welcome. I carried it for several weeks inside the pocket of my jeans, afraid that using it would somehow change the space between you and me. Then Tuesday brought a sudden downpour, and you were working out of town. I stood beneath your building awning with rainwater running down. My fingers found the little ribbon, I turned the lock and crossed the floor. The apartment looked familiar, but it felt different from before. The extra key on the red ribbon was lying underneath your hand. You gave me more than an entrance, you gave my suitcase somewhere to unpack. The extra key on the red ribbon said I could come and go by choice. You never asked me for an answer, you simply made my presence welcome. I left my favorite mug beside yours, 2 shirts inside the bedroom drawer, a photograph above the bookcase, and my old boots beside the door. You never counted every object or treated each one like a claim. Our separate lives kept all their edges while the rooms began to change. I had mistaken independence for never letting roots descend. Believed that every open doorway would eventually demand an end. But you offered me a threshold without deciding where I stood, and showed me sharing an address could still leave room for solitude. A silver key, a strip of red, my coat no longer near the exit. One empty drawer, one bathroom shelf, small evidence I had accepted that being on did not erase me, and being loved was not a debt I could belong without surrender. Every part I wanted kept, the extra key on the red ribbon now hangs beside the entry light. It opened more than your apartment, it changed the way I entered life. The extra key on the red ribbon still turns exactly as it did, but now there's nowhere in that doorway where I feel the urge to disappear. Years later when we changed the locks, you tied the new key just the same. I smiled before you passed it over, because this time I reached for it.